Hey guys, Dana with Spun Paradise Cotton Candy here. These are the 3 most popular machines I get asked about. Today we're going to focus on the gold medal Whirlwind. If you're interested in the Vivo or the little nostalgia here, we will leave links in the description below to videos on how to use those both as well. So let's get started with the Whirlwind. This is one of our high volume manufacturing machines. We use this so if you're pre-packaging it in bags or containers for retail stores, or you sell a lot online, or you go to fairs, like bigger events that are more high volume events, this is definitely a machine you're going to want. I love this machine and I cannot recommend this machine enough for high volume manufacturing. So today we're going to talk about how to use it. I do want to mention that I'm not going to show in this video how to clean it. We're going to do a totally different video for that because this is pretty involved for cleaning this machine. So there's never any water that goes in this machine ever. It does self-clean itself to a point at the very end, which I will show you when we're done spinning for the day. But when it needs a really good deep clean, it's pretty involved. So we'll make another video for that. And I just can't stress enough, no water ever on this machine, okay? All right, so I'm gonna show you guys really quickly. The assembly, super simple for this machine. The bowl, literally, we've got our bowl, we've got our machine. The machine literally just goes straight on over, or the bowl, I should say, over the machine. I will say the net is here as well. Some people like to use these, some people don't. I highly recommend the net. Just hooks down. This is what catches the cotton candy, especially if you're high volume manufacturing. You really want the net. It keeps things cleaner and just simpler to work with, okay? All right, so let's put the bubble back on. Protective eyewear for sure, always with these machines. And I definitely recommend some type of food handler's gloves as well. All right, so I'm just gonna come around to the front so we can turn this thing on and get going. Different models of Whirlwind, different years, newer and older ones have a little bit different of a variation here for the temperature. Some just have the on and off and then a heat gauge, and that's it. This one has an A, B, and C. On this, we always just keep it on A. Okay, so to get going, we are going to put our cotton candy in. And today I am going to use banana. So this is our organic banana sugar floss. Totally organic flavor. It's actually certified organic and natural color. So there isn't any dye, any artificial flavor. This is super clean and it's super safe for people with allergen issues. I'm just gonna pour it in here. With this machine, I really recommend that you fill the head completely full. And I'm just gonna give it a counterclockwise spin. You can see that it kind of dropped into the machine a little bit as it leveled it out. So we're just gonna top a little bit more sugar on top. And then we're gonna give it another counterclockwise spin. All right, so it's nice and full. That really is the level that I would recommend you always keep the sugar at. So we are going to just hit the on switch. So this is one of the older machines. I love this machine. I really particularly like the older machines with all their metal components, but the newer ones are good too. We have our power on. We're just gonna put the temperature to A. That is getting our heat element on. And then over here, we're just going to go as high heat as we possibly can to get going. So I've put the highest heat it is. We're gonna leave it at the highest heat until we start to see cotton candy coming out of the ribbon head. As soon as some cotton candy has started to form, like a little good ring of it, then we're gonna turn our heat down. I always say on these machines, the lower the heat, the better your color and your flavor will be. And that's not just with organic, that's with traditional cotton candy too, with the classic flavors with dye. The heat is going to burn off the color and the flavor no matter what kind of sugar floss you're using. So always try to keep that heat as low as you can, but still producing cotton candy. There's a certain temperature, and as you play around with and work with your machine, you'll kind of figure out where that is on your machine. All machines are different. So now that we have a nice ring of cotton candy going here, I'm just gonna bring our heat back down. This first bit of cotton candy might be a little bit lighter, again, because the cotton heat was so high. But I just like to roll it like that. Some people like to just stay in the machine the whole time, rolling it around. You totally can do that too, but I prefer to let it build up first before I do anything. And I'm just gonna leave it pretty much right at 90 right now. Sometimes different flavors too run at a different temperature too. That is totally possible as well. So again, I like to pull it like this if I'm doing cones and kind of twirl it around like that. And then grab a little bit more. And I like to shape it a little bit. So there's our first cotton candy cone. From a spin, totally depends on the amount. I'm just gonna turn it down a little bit. Totally depends on how big of cotton candy cones you're making. But usually you can get about 10 to 15 out of a spin. Again, just depends on the size. This is usually a pretty traditional size cotton candy cone. The perfect amount, not too much, not too little. When the heat is higher, the cotton candy is going to come out faster. The lower the heat, the slower the cotton candy will come out. So just keep that in mind. You know, if you're not able to keep up with how fast it's coming out and you're like, oh my gosh, I just like, there's so many cotton candy cones and I can't keep up. Just turn your heat just a little bit down. It's super, super sensitive to the heat. So just a tiny bit down. If that's still too fast, go a little bit farther down until you're at a point where you can like keep up and you have a good rhythm going. If you don't have any cotton candy coming out, you just need to turn the heat up and just a little bit at a time so you can figure out what temperature kind of works for you and speed of cotton candy coming out. We're kind of coming to the end now of our cotton candy making. I'm just gonna take some cotton candy out and I'm going to start cleaning it out for you guys so you guys can see the clean out of it. Okay, so we're pretty much at a point now where the cotton candy machine is almost cleaned out. This is really what it's going to look like when you're out of sugar. It's just kind of spinning these little pieces, the wispy pieces. It's not a substantial amount of cotton candy. It's kind of thin and white. It almost looks a little bit burned. It might smell burned. So once you don't see any more cotton candy whatsoever coming out of the head, I just kind of try to take what I can out of there. There we go. I leave it on the highest heat that it can go. This is how this machine self-cleans, is through heat. So I just let it run for about a minute on the highest heat. Sometimes it will start smoking. That's totally normal. It's just burning off any excess sugar, really trying to get itself clean within the head of the machine. So don't be alarmed by that. Even if it's smoking, I still let it run its course for about a minute. And then after a minute, we go back here and we turn the heat all the way to 0 again. And the heat range, we turn back to off. And then again, with this machine, like most cotton candy machines, it self-cools itself through spinning still without any heat on. So I let this run now for another minute with no heat on to let it cool itself down. This machine is going to break if you don't let it cool itself down first before you hit the power off button. It's been about a minute since we've let it self-cool, and we're gonna hit the power off button. And I just wanna show you guys the leather straps on the head of the machine. I just wanna make a point that you guys know that they're there and you can't see them when the machine is spinning. If you are high volume manufacturing where you're packaging into containers, you're gonna be putting your hands in here to package the cotton candy instead of putting it on cones. So you just need to know that these leather strips here are spinning. This is about the distance away from the machine head it is. So we never, if you're putting your hands on the machine to high volume manufacture into containers, you do not want to get too close to this machine because these will whip you and it doesn't feel good. We always usually try to just reach in like right here along the edge and then just like pull a full strand out. So we made our banana cotton candy cones today in the gold medal Whirlwind. And I hope that was informational for you guys and helped you guys out a bit. We will definitely have some more videos up on some other uses with this and how to package and different things like that. But I hope that this was a good starter for you guys on how to run the gold medal Whirlwind. All right, keep it sweet. Bye.